Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Max Verstappen Division Season 2, Race 7. And we are at the glorious, sunshine-filled Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. And known as, it's in the lovely, you can see in the background, a lovely forest backdrop, known as the heart of Austria, the green heart of Austria. And this week we're doing full qualifying. It does say 11, but I think we've got one or two more joining. But what people will do is drop out of Q1 because it's a pointless session to do. And hopefully the ones that haven't done it yet, I think they're just sorting out their setups. And then we'll retire so we can crack on. I think last time we had this, we were waiting bloody ages. And ages. I don't want that today. I've got things to do. There we go. We've had its lead join to make it up to 12. I think there may be another one. We'll see. So we'll have to wait for him to set his setup too. Last week, of course, those that joined us, we were at Spain, Circuit de Catalunya. I've got my glass of Spanish red wine here. I didn't get the memo. It's a week too late, but it'll do for today. But last week, we were in Spain. Didn't get as good turnout as we would have liked. I think middle of summer. Come on, F1 mads, you know the drill. I don't want to see you wet. I'm wet enough myself waiting for this race. We didn't get the turnout that we wanted. I think because it's thank you very much. So everyone made it through. Congratulations. With the summer, I think people are away on holiday. I've got family commitments and things, and it's a little bit of a different kettle of fish when all the kids go back to school. So it is hard. I know myself in other leagues that it's just hard to recruit drivers, and it's hard to maintain a full grid. But we've got 12 with us today. We shall see them all qualifying in a second. Anthrax Robin taking the checker flag last week, with Noodle getting P2, and that was a good birthday present for him, and Marty getting the third step on the grid. And to be fair, like I said, considering there wasn't many, I think there was 9 drivers, 7 finishers. It was quite an exciting race, and hopefully we'll get the same again today. It is a small track, so there should be quite a lot of action. It's not that much of a distance to gain advantage. Not many corners to gain advantage. It's a 4.3 kilometer track clockwise, 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left. 3 DRS zones, which are very, very effective DRS zones. We've got a couple of reserves with us today. So we've got not Phase Walker. He's not the one I'm on about. It's Cross Frog. He's filling in the RB as a reserve. Phase Walker is who we're going to keep an eye on. We've got Matt Harris in the Haas, and we've got Alinus in the McLaren, who had a great week last week. It's going to be interesting to see who can make it. There's only going to be 2 drivers that get knocked out. But what we will do while we are thinking about that is we're going to jump on with Phase Walker and do an onboard hot lap for the first run of the quali session as he's coming around the final couple of corners to start his lap and activate not officially the first DRS but the first one for the quali lap as he takes a run down to turn 1 of Nicky Lauda, and you will go as far left on the curve as possible round the corner. You don't want to cut that sausage curb, and it's an uphill corner there, and we're going uphill again. Oh, it's a bit wide as we're going up turns 2 and 3 of Remus. Go as far left as possible try and avoid the curve because you can lose traction. And quite a bit of camber on this corner where we'll see a lot of cars go flying. Open up that DRS, and turn 3 coming down to turn 4 here now. There will be plenty of overtaking, and again, normally I take it quite wide as he does there, and just follow the corner round. You want to just tap your throttle as you're making your way around turn 4 as we're going round launch, and followed by reverse curve. Or I'm sure I've got some Austrians that will correct me. And then it's as flat out as possible, letting off. There's no braking here as we're going down Rinse. And then the final corner, which is a really tight right-hander. Again, avoiding that slash curve as much as possible. Open up that third DRS. Coming in a line of a 1:05.4. So great first lap from FaZe Walker. Nemi has retired from the session or been disqualified. I didn't see the disqualification. As we see Robin coming over and starting his first lap. Right, there is a Red Bull of Noodles crossing the line with a 1:05.2. I think potentially we're going to see mid 1:04s as the pole lap. Of course, it's all provisional at this moment in time as G Banks takes provisional P3. I say Robin getting the win last week, which I think he'll be absolutely chuffed with. He's making up way up to around turn 4 of Schlossgard. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not murdering it. And turn 5. And again, what I try and do is ride the inside curb and manage my throttle. You want to minimise. And we've got a yellow flag, and Robin has invalidated. Let's jump on with Olness as he's coming round turn 4. See Matt Harris just slotting behind his teammates to P5. Quite slow, 1:07.2. I'm sure he's got a few extra tenths, maybe even a couple of seconds to find to get him up the grid. Around turn 8. It's quite a slow lap here from Alan, so I think he's just trying to get a banker lap in. Is he pitting already? He could have got a banker lap in, but he's decided to jump in. So we'll stay with F1 Mad then, who decided not to use the wets. He's going to be doing his first flying lap. Ooh, nearly went flying then, and that's the risk if you go over that sausage curb on turn 10. There's a risk of going flying off the corner. See Robin there letting Josh past. Josh, like I said, I think Robin's doing another flying lap actually, and Josh is following through. Maybe, no, I think Robin might be giving Josh a bit of a slipstream. As he drifts round turn 4. You need better traction than that. Josh last week announcing that he's going to be stepping down from the league at the end of the season. He wants to give an opportunity to other drivers to get on the podium more often. He is very, very quick, and he's going to try and find his pace in another area as he's sliding everywhere, testing the limits, and does a 1:04.3. Now we're getting higher than I thought we'd actually get. Will we get into the 1:03s? Crazy lap there. So we'll check with Robin to see what he can do. After he's now got a valid lap and goes provisional P5. Yes, Lee is on a hot lap, but we'll check on with Josh, who has invalidated. He's going around for another lap. It's a risky one here. I'm sure we'll get one in though. Red Bull lads looking strong. Currently provisional P1 and P2 on this first official quali session, and he's gone wide invalidated on turn 10, which is very, very easy to do. Red Bull gets out of the way. Italy. Been missing 1 or 2 weeks, but he is a podium sitter for this season. He does have that under his belt. So I think we've got a yellow flag for Crossfrog, losing it after turn 1. He crosses the line for his first final lap and goes provisional P4, so it's a great start from him. As we'll see what Josh can do. Can he jump to provisional pole? He goes P2, the 104.6, so F1 mad set in the early pace. As everyone is jumping in the pits now. Was in another flying lap. As Josh has retired, I think he's and F1 mad retired. They know that that isn't going to get beaten by 10 drivers, so saving some tyres. So we've got the RB of Crossfrog crossing the line, and he invalidated as well, so he's going again. Can Holiness do? Behind G Banks, who again drifts around the corner and stays where he is in P8 as Holiness jumps into the pit. So Noodles has stayed P3. FaZe Walker's decided to pit now as well and retire, knowing that 1 or 2 are struggling. To be fair, everyone that is running Nemi has retired, so there's only one person that needs to drop out. So we'll probably see 1 or 2 more retire as well, especially the ones in the 105s. So we see 1 or 2 drivers struggling to set a lap. Crossfrog is on his way round to finish his first official final lap, or is he going to dive straight in the pits? He's going for his lap. Kept it in the light lines this time. Crosses the line and goes up to provisional P7 with 105.6. So I'd say from its lead down, it's not safe. They are not safe. And Robin is coming round. He's showing his 3/10 up, so he does go up to P4. So I think he'll be safe with that one now. G Banks a little slow on that one, so is he doing another flying lap? Tricky turn 3. And we'll see many people trying to do an overtake there. And it's really hard for even 2 cars going on there, but there's many times we see 3 cars trying to make that move, especially on lap 1. Turn 4. As Noodles does retire himself. We may even see Robin retire when he goes in the pits as well. I think they may be safe, unless one of the cars that are in the 106 and 107s make it into the 105s, and it will start getting quite twitchy bum time. This doesn't look that quick, and the Haas jumps into the pit, so as Italy does retire as well. Catch down Richards on a flying lap. Don't think this is that quick. He dives in the pits too. The ones that are still in play have still got another lap to do. As Robin is having spins. He's eating some donuts. He's playing donuts. He's trying to get himself disqualified. You have to be careful he doesn't get himself disqualified. And Dan does retire himself as well. Thinks his time's good enough. They only have to beat 1 driver. Yeah, I think Robin's realised he might be a high chance he gets disqualified, so which will send him back to the bottom of the grid. He's going to dive in the pits and retire. Holiness slides and managed to keep it on the track. And I think that might be him done, unless he's got enough fuel in his tank to do another lap. And he just can't get it turned. And spinning the gravel, and that won't do his tyres any good. Look at his tyres, they're screaming. Come on, man, take it slow. Take it slow. There we go. Now, has he burnt his tyres out? I don't think there's enough time to get in and out. Only he'll know. I think he might just do it if he just quickly. And G-Banks has seen that Olinus has had a bit of an issue. There's still chance. Crossfox doesn't think he's safe and is coming out to do another lap. Anthrax Robin is just going round and round. Maybe just getting some practice laps in. For a bit of consistency. Quite clever, to be fair. Just do some laps. Crossfox is driving style, something in the pits too. I think he's calling it a day. Under 2 minutes left. Does Olinus have enough time to get out the tyre change and out the pits? Hasn't managed to set a timed lap yet. Will Matt Harris make it through with a 107.2? Now that would be an achievement. Crossfrog has called it a day. And Olinus is going for one more run. It's now or never. This is it. But it started raining. And he's damaged his wing as well, so there's no chance. He's damaged his wing. It's raining. He's not going to improve. He's retired. And does that mean it's going to be a wet race too? Only the drivers will know. And will it follow over to the next quali session? You'd like to think so. So the ones that are in there now need to retire. That'll save us 40 seconds. And you won't have to hear me for 40 seconds longer, because I can't shut up. Come on, boys. There we go, Robbie. And then it's just Matt Harris. Don't sit here for half a minute. Let's go. Come on. I've got a life, you know. Well, you can see if you like Olinus trying to drive slicks on a wet track. It's very clumsy. It's like a bear roller skating. And this is turn 10 drivers that made it through. F1 Mad getting the fastest time of the session with a 104.3. And then the rain started coming. Josh, Noodles, Anthrax Robin, FaZe Walker, It's Lee, Dan Richards, Crossfrog, G-Banks, and Matt Harris rounding off your top 10. Make it through to quali 3. Nemi and Olinus. Who's Little Pooh? I swear Little Pooh's supposed to be racing today. Is that Nemi? I can't remember. Who's Little Pooh? Anyway, Nemi and Olinus get to watch from the sidelines and get to watch other people's laps. Bit of tips. Everybody in the club get tipsy. And it's a raining quali 3, which will make it tricky. Which means everyone will be qualifying on inters. And that means that I reckon... Ooh, I reckon we're looking at 106s maybe. 10... Ooh, I'm going to say 106, mid 106 for quali lap. It's a tricky one because it's 3 main straights and 10 corners. There's not that much jeopardy really. And Mercedes comes out first. Oh, that's Q jumping. I saw that. Haas gets out ahead of the Williams. Lee's coming out first and doing the first flying lap. Give us an early indication of what the kind of pace is going to be that we're looking for, what the traction's like. And again, like, you want to get a banker lap. With this size lap, you should be able to get 3 runs in. But we shall see. Around, and we'll do it. We'll do another hot lap, shall we? Just for the band. This is such a short lap. It packs a lot into a short lap, this does. With the first half rewards your power. As it comes round turn 10, starts his flying lap, open up that DRS. And what happens is the cars blast along 3 straights, separated by these 2 uphill right-handers. First one of Nicky Lauda. I was running up to turn 2 and turn 3 of Remus. Plenty of overtaking opportunities come up to turn 3, where you want to go as far left as possible and turn into the corner. Right-handers are difficult corners to take. Work out, open up that DRS again, although it's not activated, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's wet. If we run down to turn 4 again, we'll see some overtakes happen here on the inside, maybe some switchbacks. And around turn 5 as the drivers start working their way downhill like a toboggan ride. Makes his way around Raunch and Verf. And the cars panning their way through a set of quick corners. Round turn 9 again, you'd go flat out in the dry, let off here, a little tap on the brake, avoid the going wide and invalidating, and does get a time of a 1:12.3, so quite slow that one. I think it's going to get beaten quite easily, as Matt Harris is a 1:13.9. Dan Richards coming over the line, who's invalidated. First of the Red Bulls comes over, which is Noodles, who's setting a lap. Antux Robin is a 1:11.1. So was I being pretty presumptuous, F1 Mads? 1:10.3. Well, maybe I was just setting my own pace of what I could do. It's absolute bants, absolute bants. And DRS is enabled, so the track has dried again. So FaZe Walker and Josh staying in the pits. I've seen that the rain's been going and haven't wasted their time. Ooh, drifts around, managed to keep it on the track. Crosses the line and goes provisional P3, P4, gets knocked down by Noodles. So Noodles in P3 with a 1:11.3. But everyone's going to have to jump in the pits for softs now. An absolute waste of time being on these inters and setting any more laps. Lee does waste his time. He might be quicker, but it's a dry track now, mate. And doesn't improve. The Haas comes round. Doesn't improve. You're wasting your time, lads. Get in the pits. As Robin does improve himself. Goes up to provisional pole, the 1:10.1. Dan Richards coming in with a 1:19.7. I'm sure there's plenty more time he can find. But we'll watch our championship current championship winner and our current championship leader work his way round, get some temperature in his tires. Go a little bit wide onto the gravel there. Is it still a little bit damp? Leading championship by, with 100 points. Was missing last week, fortunately, but still leads the way ahead of his teammate Robin by 21 points. And then Noodle in P3, who's behind again, another 21 points on 58. Ferrari with those two at the front. It's Lee taking the provisional pole on those inters with the 1:09.8, so there's still time to find, but the time will be on the soft tyres as Josh does set the fastest first sector. Dan getting a 1:09.4 then, so these times are dropping, but they will drop a lot more with the soft compounds. I said you're wasting your own time by setting laps on these inters. Get in the pits and onto some softs. Maybe these drivers on inters don't feel comfortable. They'll still think it's an inter track, but the time set by Josh will be an indicator as the other drivers coming out of the pits and doing an outlap are on softs. So Ferrari, yes, leading the constructors as well, ahead of Red Bull by 77 points. There's quite a margin. It does help when your teammate is consistently with you too, as Josh goes with 106 flat, so got 3.5 seconds advantage, so the others do need to get into the pits. I think Crossfrog will be on next, runner on soft tyres. And it's all about timing here and confidence in your tyres. As Robin does improve himself again up to P2, but with a 108.4, but he's got to get off these tyres. Is he going to keep going and then jump in and do one run on the softs? Still 2.5 seconds gap between him and his teammate Josh in provisional pole. Flag in turn 3. Looks like Red Bull's getting out of the way, I think. That's Crossfog. Makes his way round. On to turn 4. Nice smooth transition around there again, looks good. Don't want to go ride that curve too much on the exit, otherwise you're not going to get the traction you need. Round turn 5. To the end of sector 2 with a 46.7. There's a very good chance you can run wide coming out of turn 8. Wide in the inside and has gone in the pit. Strange as F1 Mad follows through with a 104.5 and smashes Josh's time. So you can see the track is drying. So the guys on inters need to get in the pits now, as FaZe Walker's doing his first flying lap on softs. Goes quite wide but managed to keep his time. Game feels that he didn't really get an advantage. Cars slow down on Remus. And FaZe Walker still as well, yet to set a time. So will we see anyone getting the 103s now the track is dry? FaZe Walker coming round near the end of sector 2. Will he get? He's in the dirty air of the Haas. Will it get out of the way? Is it on a hot lap? It's going to impede him. I don't think the kick driver will be too happy with this. You can't help a driver being slower than you, and pushes his way past. Don't think the Haas driver will be too happy with that, as FaZe Walker goes provisional P2 with a 105.3 and Matt Harris up to a 107.6. But you've got to give yourself another gap with the driver in front. It's not their fault that they're slower than you. So if I was a steward and the report came in, that would be FaZe Walker's fault. He didn't leave himself enough gap to do qualifying. The driver ahead. As Noodles comes around the final corner, sets his first lap on softs, crosses the line, goes provisional P5. So we've got Dan now coming round turn 4, setting his first lap on softs as well. Did a great lap on those inters, but no, just not gonna do. Lost F1 Mad. He's lost connection. Goes a little bit wide, gets himself on the curb and the gravel, and that's his lap done. I don't know if he's got enough time to go in. I don't think he does. So, and if he's got enough fuel in his car, he'll have to go again. It's unfortunate. As the last cars are coming out, doing their out laps, will be doing Matt Harris again on another lap then. And is just over a tenth up on his last time. His best time. This is it now for everyone's last run. As Noodles does another lap and gets himself up to P2 provisionally on the front row with his teammates. With a 105 flat. I feel that can be beaten. Has Noodles got enough in him to do another lap? Looks like the Ferrari boys are looking to do a bit of teamwork. There's a bit of slow driving here. I think if anyone, Robin needs a bit of a push up. Currently P7. He did wait a long time on those inters to come in. As Harris crosses the line, stays provisional P6. Dan Rich is coming around again. He's 1.5 seconds up on his lap, so he's not going to improve. Cross Frog setting his first lap and goes up to provisional P4. Pulls out of the bag right at the end with a 105.4. He'll be happy with that. But Noodles coming around again, who's 5.5 seconds down, so he's not going to improve and he's jumping in the pits. It's Lee is down 1.7 on his lap, so he's not going to improve, and that's him done. We've got Robin next, who's almost 9 tenths up. This currently will take him, improve his time, but he's still got time to find in the last couple of corners. Can he get near to the podium positions? Crosses the line, and he gets himself on provisional pole, the 104.4, out the bag. Next we've got the Haas and Matt Harris, crosses the line, stays P9. Next is Josh, and gets himself up to P1 with a 104.1, 3 tenths ahead of his teammate. Cross Frog is down, so this is your lineup. He's invalidated as well. And the Ferrari boys, I won't say out of nowhere, because they are quick lads, but pulled it out of the bag last minute, get themselves both on the front row. And this is your starting grid for the race. Josh gets himself on pole with a 104.1, and his teammate joins him on the front row with a 104.4. It's followed by the Red Bull boys on the second row. FaZe Walker, P5. Cross Frog, P6. It looked good final lap from him. G Banks, P7. Italy, P8. Dan Richards, P9. And Matt Harris, again, like I said, he was potentially hampered by the Kick Sauber driver on quali, but he starts P10, and that's still a good position. So we are in, so the drivers, it looks dry for now. Who knows? So we are in the middle of the Austrian Alps in Spielberg, where the weather is variable, and we saw that in qualifying where it went from dry to wet to dry. It's like me during the day when I can't make it to the toilet. Drivers here, I think we do have a couple of minutes while drivers just sort out their strategies and adjust their fuel loads, adjust their setups if needed to. You can mess with your front wing, you can adjust your differential if you want to, but one or two will also be using the little boys room. Now, strategy for this race, if it was me, I'd probably go, it depends where I start on the grid, but it's got to be mediums to hards. With qualifying, there's an opportunity to use softs, but the tyre wear on this game is so it can be quite unforgiving, and especially those fast sweeping corners. The wear of the tyres can be so it can affect your race so bad. So I'd probably go mediums hards. If it was me, try and be a bit racy at the start and get myself settled in the race. Like I said, it's a 4.3 kilometre race, 10 corners, 7 to the right, 3 to the left, and the 3 DRS zones. All opportunities to make overtakes, but I think the first and second ones of the lap are the ones where you've got the best opportunity. It's quite a hilly track. The drivers are not really fans of it. The real ones, I say. It is a favourite of people on the game because it's a short one, so tend to see a lot of it on with online racing. But yeah, real drivers don't really like it because of the elevation changes. 65-metre elevation change throughout the circuit, and if you need any reference to that, Eau Rouge's elevation is 35 metres. So yeah, quite. It looks a lot. It doesn't. It looks a lot flatter than it actually is, especially from the aerial views. While we're waiting for the drivers, we'll do the joke of the week, shall we? What shall we do? Joke of the week. Joke of the week. Okay. What's the worst combination of illnesses? Alzheimer's and diarrhea. You're running, but you can't remember where. Sorry. We're in Manchester, aren't we? Sorry. Surely the drivers should be ready anytime soon. I'm ready. I've got my vino in hand. I will have a quick slurp. For one or two regular watchers of the streams, it's well known that I have my my pet dog with me, and he cannot stay still, and he harasses me whenever I stream. I think it's just because I'm constantly talking, or when I get a little bit excited, he ends up jumping all over me. He's not here this week. He's staying with his mum for a little bit down in Bath. So, and we are doing a formation lap first. Lovely. So we can see who's on what tyres then, and see what strategies people are going with as Josh leads us round. So it looks like the majority of people have gone on the mediums to start with. It is a one-stop strategy. It is a short pit lane though, so it's not that much of a not that much as all round track's locked up, trying to avoid his teammates. There's not that much of a hindrance if you do have to pit. The only one on softs is it's Lee, so he's looking very racy from P8. We'll see what he can do from there. And FaZe Walker and Dan Richards going for the long first stint. I think with 12 drivers, there's a lower chance of a safety car. You'd like to think with the runoff areas that there's not going to be many retirements. But safety cars can come out if you run off and get yourself stuck in the gravel. And some of the corners do tend to lead you off into the direction of the wall. So we'll see. We'll see. What we'll say for drivers that are watching that have got this on in the background, you can't win this race in turn one. It's a tricky one. It's a short run down to the first corner of Niki Lauda. My advice is follow through. Not into your pants because you shit yourself, but follow through, drive by driver, and then take your opportunities down to turn 3 and turn 4. Turn 1 is not where you're going to win this. As will we get a better view than this off the start line. EA and Codemaster have had an absolute mare with their starting cameras because we never get a decent shot. Normally it's like this, or I think China's behind a building. Look at this. Look at this. What is this for a starting camera? This is absolutely ridiculous. What are we supposed to do with that? It's 5 lights, I think. I can't see. They are away. There we go. What ridiculous is that? As Joshua nearly cuts the wing off. F1 mad. Staying ahead of his teammate. And we've a couple of people have dropped down. Crossfrog has dropped down a couple of positions. trying to work his way back up, but there's like 4 wide as we go in. Try and not lose any wings. Everyone looks like they made it through safe. Wow, always gets my heart pumping when they make it through, but F1 Mad on the inside, turn 4 on Noodles, forcing slightly wide, does give him enough room, and it looks like Noodles will have the corner into turn 5. Great racing from there, great respectful racing there. F1 Mad trying to look back on the inside, so F1 Mad first for the Red Bulls, taking advantage on the first lap and goes really wide there. He's going to get a warning. And what I would say about F1 Mad, he's very prone to getting track limit warnings. As Anthrax Robin looking to retake the position of P2. All the while these are battling. Josh is pulling away as Nemi has gone off or had a collision with somebody. His car is ghosting. As FaZe Walker gets the track's limit already. We've literally done 1 lap with 10 corners. How have you got a track limit? Oh my God, as Alinus gets himself up to P10. As Matt Harris goes wide, you can see the Haas there of G Banks on the inside of It's Lee. Very, very racy, making that overtake. We've already got 1 or 2 that have broken the DRS zone. So 1 or 2 mini trains, as Josh has broken away from F1 Mad, who still managed to keep that P2 position. It's all settled down now. Drivers trying to find the rhythm, know when their opportunities lie to make an overtake. We've got Anthrax and Noodles following. FaZe Walker's joining that train, but he does have that penalty. Josh showing his pace, 1.2 seconds ahead and getting that fastest lap again. Then we've got Dan Richards now 2 seconds behind the train ahead that's getting pulled along by DRS. And each time it won't help him on his hard compounds. It's more advantage of FaZe Walker as Cross Frog looks on the inside of turn 3. Can he make it stick? And collides and ends up spinning. Collides with Dan Richards. And it's a tricky one. You've got to leave each other enough room, and drops himself down to P9. As It's Lee looking very close and racy to G Banks. Further behind, got the battle here with Olinus and Matt Harris. And I think Nemi, it looks like he's disconnected and isn't racing, so it's just his car on track. As Matt Harris has now been dropped from Olinus, so they'll be running the Rose race for a little bit unless Matt Harris can get back on it. As Crossfrog makes 2 overtakes, Italy goes really wide on turn 10 and we'll get a track limits for that. But how long will his soft tyres last for? We're on lap 4 now out of 36. He's got to make advantage of these, take advantage of these. So we've got a yellow flag, and it is the McLaren of Olinus. He's lost it on turn 1. Put his throttle down too hard, coming out the corner onto the curb, and has gone spinning into space. As Anthrax Robin and F1 Mad battling down turn 4. Noodles is taking a look, but he's just pulled himself out of that battle for now. Following through again as they come round turn 5 and 6. F1 Mad keeping that position, but Robin is keeping him honest as well. All the while Josh is pulling away. Taking a look there, his teammate. F1 Mad's defending well, defending hard but fair. Robin's going to take a look at the inside turn 1. Has he got enough? Crossfrog getting a track limit. Anthrax has to brake, and I didn't think Noodle expected that, and Constantina's into him, but I think Robin should get him now. And does make that easy overtake down to turn 3. Can Noodles follow through? And doesn't want to risk colliding with his teammate. There's an opportunity for F1 to take that back. As It's Lee comes into the pit and jumps onto those hard tyres. Those softs are just worn way too quick, as Olinus has lost it again at the same place as he did last lap. And lose the position to Nemi. And I think this battle here, 3-way with Crossfrog, G Banks and Dan Richards, just jostled for positions. Quite a new track in comparison to a lot of others. Red Bull Ring, as Matt Harris now gets the track limits very early on, and these track limit penalties will cost you positions, which is right up on the gearbox of G-Bank. I think he's going to be looking to make an overtake here. He's looking quicker on those hard tyres. Is he going to look into turn one? No, he's better of it. We'll follow G-Bank, who's slow on the exit, which will give Dan Richards the opportunity to make the overtake. Following his slipstream, takes a look but can't make the overtake there. There's F1 Mad and Anthrax battling again. And Dan Richards does make the overtake. I think he lets G-Banks through. Very respectful driving. I think they had a bit of a collision and he's let him through. Anthrax Noodle follows F1 Mad through, but Robin is on the inside of turn 5, and Noodles knows that there's a risk, high chance of going off into the gravel, so pulls back a bit and lets Robin back through. Great battle between these three here for podium positions. Josh is now 2.4 seconds ahead, and they have also dropped FaZe Walker on those hards. He's now running his own race down in P5. Crossfrog, G-Banks and Dan Richards all jostling now for that P6 position. As Robin is looking again on the inside of turn 3. I don't think there's anything that Mad can do here, as Robin doesn't leave him enough room there, collides with F1 Mad and ends up losing a couple of places. He went deep on the corner and ends up colliding with F1 Mad. And Noodle takes advantage and follows his teammates, and Red Bulls are both now in the podium positions. But we are only on lap 7 as Olinus has lost it again on turn 1. That's not his corner, and I think Nicky Lauda, if he was still alive, would happily give his name, that named corner, to Olinus for the amount of times he's spinning round. Jeez! And Josh gets the track's limits. Now that's opens the door for these three, if they can stay within those 3 seconds. Safety cars, pit stops, mistakes like Josh has just made will open the door for the race win. As Noodles is following and overtakes, going up to P2 on F1 Mad. Anthrax isn't quite close enough to make the overtake, but can F1 Mad take the position back on Noodles going down the inside of turn 4? And he does. Noodles isn't battling that much, but Anthrax is then following through on the inside. Can he make that one stick, or Noodle at the inside turn 5? He does not. Ooh, touching wheels, Anthrax almost on the grass, almost on the gravel. And oh, what an overtake that was on the outside of turn 7 and 8. Wow, you don't see it often there, and that was brave. Got himself up to P2, and it's Noah's Ark again for the Ferrari and Red Bull guys, as you were. Great overtake there, and FaZe Walker has retired in the pits. What's wrong with this lad? All he did was get another track limits. Maybe he had to go, maybe he had something to do, but I think he just went in a hissy fit because he got another track limits. He phase walked himself out of the race as F1 Mad now retakes the position, go down turn 4 on the inside. Robin leaves him plenty of room, goes quite wide on the curb. Room is left there by F1 Mad, but manages to keep the position. Great racing again. And Noodles is watching all the while, and the yellow flag is Canolinus. Will he spin on the track again? Let's see. He rides that curb. Maybe next lap. We'll keep jumping on him, see if he does it again. And that was FaZe Walker's car. Josh now 4 seconds ahead. He'll be happy with that, with his track limits. What will happen now? We've still got the 3-car race here, and then the 3-car race behind from P5 down to P7. Of course, those cars getting promoted with FaZe Walker's retirement. There's Anthrax close enough to make the overtake into on the inside. He takes a look, has a little bit of a bump with F1 Mad, and ends up going really deep and wide. Has to let F1 Mad go, otherwise he would have to give the position back for being off track. And Noodles follows through. I think Robin let them go as well, because he did go off track and potentially gain an advantage. So Red Bull's back onto the podium. To and fro in after we get each corner. Will Robin look at doing an overtake like he did last lap? This is absolutely brilliant. You don't see him that often. He's right on the gearbox of Noodles, who had a little bit of loss of traction coming out of turn 8. Going single file then, as G Banks makes overtake on Crossfog, who's gone off on turn 7 and 8, and he's stuck in the gravel, which is costing him time. Don't go backwards because he'll end up retiring. Oh, he's going forwards but backwards, if you know what I mean. What's going on here? Get out the gravel, my man. Promotes the Haas driver up to P7. And Crossfogger's retired. He's had a safety car or a VSC. I can't see a safety car yet. It's just a yellow flag. He is potentially in risk of a collision, so I would have thought a VSC would be out. It doesn't look like anyone is slowed down, as his car is technically on the track still. No, it doesn't look like a VSC's here, or a safety car. Just a yellow flag in sector 2, and it says a retired car then. So that is it for him, so no safety car. As Robin almost looks at overtaking turn 9, which again is a risky one with it being quite a flat out corner. But we will see an overtake going down to turn 3. And Olinus has now lost it on turn 3. He's changed corners. And will Noodle go back himself to P2 on the inside? Turn 3 he does. Anthrax Robin tries to follow through. And that's a bit of a wing damage from F1 Mad. He runs into the back of his teammate, who had slower traction coming off the corner. Hopefully it wasn't too much damage for him. It was just a bit of gained carbon fibre. But the two Red Boys managed to stay in front of the Ferrari driver. And this battling all the while, like I said, is giving advantage to Josh, who can just keep pulling away. He's now bit of grind of carbon fibre again between the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Does F1 Mad have a bit of wing damage? Because Robin thinks he's got better pace going through that middle sector. Coming around to the final 2 corners. And it says as you were again. What will be now? As Dan Richards has bit of a gap now, and I think there might have been a bit of collision with Crossfrog and G Banks for him to lose a bit of time. As F1 Mad retakes a position going up to turn 3 of Remus. And Noodles back down to P3. Robin staying and taking a look to see what will happen. Noodles following down, but I don't think he's got enough to overtake. Neither does Robin. But we've seen Robin's really quick through this downhill sector. The proper karting sector, this one. Love it. And Italy overtakes Matt Harris. Getting himself up to P7. On those hards. Can he get to the end on those hards? I really doubt it. He's got to do 22, about 30 laps on those tyres, which is a lot to ask. We may have to pit again. As F1 Mad and Noodles swapping places, and actually F1 Mad jumps into the pits and looks to go onto the hards and undo the undercut, but does he have wing damage? Not enough for a wing change, so he's looking to do an undercut, get himself out of that battle. I'd probably give it a few more laps before I would have made a pit stop, but he's had enough. I think it's a bit racy. So Noodles and Anthrax then make a battle as we go down to turn 4. Noodles currently ahead, but Robin looking on the inside. Locks up. Manages to avoid Noodles. Noodles did give him plenty of room, but he should have the inside corner here at turn 5. Leaves plenty of room for Robin. He goes on the outside turn 5. I think Noodles didn't fight that too much, knowing that it could have been a collision and couldn't get the car turned in enough. And that's a great overtake again on the outside of a corner from Robin. Again, you don't see them that often, and he's, I think he's signalling, is he going in the pits? I think he did signal, they both do go in. Bit of lawnmower in there from Robin. So he's getting down to speed, so Robin has the advantage. Mad's coming round, and I think he's going to overtake now. A bit of free air, and will overtake the cars in the pits, who are just on their way out now. Will get himself up to P3. Dan Richards yet to pit as well. So Robin has got a bit of an advantage over Noodles as well. He's had a better pit stop than him. G-Banks coming out the pits now, switched on to the hard tyres that will get him to the end. Comes out just ahead of his teammate, Matt Harris. Maybe work a bit together with a bit of slipstream and DRS. We shall see. And it's now 14.3 seconds behind Josh. Is Josh going to go for a couple more laps then pit? He's actually in the pit now as I speak onto the hards. The longer he goes, the more time he'll give up to people like F1 Mad, who's just coming around the final corner now, so Josh will still have his advantage. As Dan Richards takes the lead of the race in the Williams, he'll be absolutely buzzing. And F1 Mad does become behind. Josh has cut his time down to under 4 seconds. With his tyres a bit more heated up. So there's a slight mini advantage to Robin and Noodles, who pit a lap later than F1 Mad. But you like to think there's even keel. G-Banks gets a track limit warning. Matt Harris jumping in the pits now. Getting off those 15 lap mediums onto the hards. And there we go, there's the track limits to F1 Mad. I said earlier, he's prone to penalties. And that will put his podium position in jeopardy, along with Josh. It's all down to Robin and Noodles and what they can do. Holiness as well comes in the pit, switching onto those hard tyres. I think he needs new tyres after lap 2. That tyres is just screeching in circles. So Dan Richards, hello there. Currently in P1 with Josh, the net P1 in DRS range. I don't think Dan's going to fight this too hard, maybe down to turn 4. It is for position, but you got to know your battles. Josh having a look on the inside, and yeah, Dan doesn't battle that at all. Knows where his battles are, and he doesn't want to lose time against his other rivals. Josh thanks him for the pass. A little bit of wiggle. As F1 Mad has that advantage of 1.7, 1.8 seconds. Seems quite consistent in the moment. Noodles actually then dropped by Robin. Find it difficult to get his tyres switched on as Josh gets the provisional fastest lap with a 1:06.6, and that won't be beaten by anyone. Noodles has dropped now, and he doesn't want to drop too far either. He's struggling to get these hard tyres turned on, and potentially out of podium position range. Who knows? We're halfway through the race. That's another track limits for G-Banks. And the field is spread out a little bit more now. It's got G-Banks here behind its Lee. As we've got a yellow flag. And that's a Ferrari. of Anthrax Robin, who's lost traction coming out of turn 4. And I don't think that's brought a safety car out. Why has he got a safety car out for him going off there, but no safety car for Crossfrog actually crashing out and retiring? Madness. Absolute madness. So what? And then he goes in the pits here, and this is great for Dan Richards as well. F1 Mad jumps in the pits. Will his teammate go in as well and jump on some fresh mediums? This is all the while hampers Josh. So I think I went past, or it's just a little bit too late for him to jump into the pits. As Dan jumps on fresh mediums. F1 Mad on fresh mediums. Robin continues through, stays on the hards. Fresh mediums might be the way to go. Noodles, who now brings himself back into contention for that podium because of penalties. It's Lee goes through up to P5, staying on the hard. Oh, it's Lee, you should have pit, mate. It's Lee, you should have pit, mate. Big mistake from you. 14 lap old hards, you should have pit. He bounces in. He'll get out ahead of his teammate. But what this does, it condenses the field. I think anyone that's in hards going to some fresh mediums. Matt Harris is lawnmowing on his. Get onto Lawnmower Simulator. Ooh. So, you'd like to think here then, the potential favourites are F1 Mad. Dan Richards, if he can keep the pace up. And these ghost cars at Nemi. Oh, that's not that's a disadvantage for P3 and down. Nemi's ghost car, who's disconnected, has been elapsed. This game needs to kick out this sort of thing. It's ridiculous. They should allow lap cars to pass. Crazy. We've still got the Haas cars to come round, so we'll probably go around for another lap after this. I said earlier, the Red Bull Ring's quite a newer track in comparison to a lot of others. The original track was 1969, which is the Austria Ring, which was converted from an airfield, if I recall. But it was actually turned into a modern racetrack because it's completely different to how it was now. During winter '95 and '96, where the track first opened, it was known as the AI Ring from 2003. And most famously, to be honest, for that opening race, F1 race for Austria, John Lacey had a spectacular crash, going over top of ignoring your flag, it's Lee, Italian hand gesture man, as it's Lee does go in the pits as well, and finally makes that pit stop. A bit too late, my mate. It ended up crashing in the back of Eddie Irvine's Ferrari. I think was run by Jacques Villeneuve, legend, F1 legend. Of course, has a track named after him. Crash was quite mental. He went through Eddie Irvine like a dirty curry. I should see the safety car in this lap. Well, no, right now. A bit sooner than I thought it would be, but here we are. So, actually, the advantage is to Josh with having that lapped car ahead, and of course you can't overtake until the timeline. Safety car has to be in. I think Josh will take it nice and smooth, slow it up a little as we get around turn 9 and 10, and then bomb it knowing he's got that car advantage. He's taking it nice and smooth here now, yeah. Slowed it up a little bit around these last couple of corners. It does have that advantage as they're gone already. There we go. Like I said, Robin needs to stay behind that car until the timeline. Otherwise, you're going to have to give the position back. It looks like he's got past. Carlinus is getting caught up now. Potentially trying to make an overtake. Italy makes the overtake on Matt Harris down to turn 3. Nice and clean on the inside from him. It's a yellow flag, and it's Olinus. He's done it again. He can't help it as F1 Man and Anthrax battling again. F1 get himself back up to P2. Josh has pulled 2 seconds. But he is on the older hard compound tyres. I'm saying old like they're old. Dan Richards getting himself a penalty. Currently in P4. Noodles, who was one of the front runners earlier, will want to get past him as soon as possible. Josh getting himself fastest lap. Clipped by F1 Mad on those mediums. He's pulling Robin through. And Dan and Noodles. G-Bank staying with him with Alex Lee, so we've got a 6-car train. DRS train, choo-choo. Who's going to make the first move? Still 13 laps to go. Plenty of time. No one's quite close yet, but they are pulling a gap. F1 Mad can keep his eyes out of his rear view mirrors. Keep him on front. Might be able to catch Josh here. All the while, those penalties in play. It's tricky following cars so close on this track with the fast corners. In the dirty air. Dan Richards now takes the fastest lap. And there goes Nemi. And Robin takes the position back up to P2. Looks to the inside of turn 3. He's been doing this a lot this race. Nice and easy. As Noodles has been dropped. He's looked quite racy earlier on in this race on the mediums, but hasn't been able to find his pace after the first round of pit stops. As F1 Mad, he takes the position down to turn 4. Robin trying to do a switch back again, and Arlinus does not like that corner at all. Mad guy, what are you doing? Mad has to be careful of those track limits. We saw him go a little bit wide there on turn 6. It's a great view of his mistakes. At the moment, you would say Robin is looking favourite for the race if he can keep the pace up here. Right on the gearbox of F1 Mad. F1 Mad, you'd like to think, has got better tyres. He just can't seem to brush off Robin or Dan Richards. As Robin now goes on the outside. And F1 Mad went to defend the inside, and Robin called his bluff. But will F1 Mad do it again? Oh, he's gone back to his original corner. Turn 1. The Olinus. F1 Mad back up to P2. To-ing and fro-ing. Josh is going to be licking his lips here. He's just got to be mindful not to get another penalty. Oh, how many corners? Is he trying to do a record for doing it on every corner? Oh. And Dan Richards joined this fight. He's very close, right behind Anthrax Robin. Of course, he has a penalty as well. unless he can get past and get an advantage. And he is right up behind Anthrax Robin now. Anthrax Robin being forced to defend. And look at the speed that Richards has got. Right into the slipstream of Robin. Robin's got the pace down the straight too. So Richards is waiting to fight another day. That's good traction off turn 3. DRS is open. He's looking at the inside turn 4 on Anthrax Robin. Robin is looking to battle as well. A little bit of wheel banging, leaving plenty of room though. Robin has the inside of turn 5 and kept his position. Very fair driving from those pair again. Seeing some fantastic wheel-to-wheel action today. All the while Dan Richards is dropping Noodles, and Noodles is under threat from G-Banks and it's Lee. G-Banks, it's another track limits. And that has not helped F1 Mad. I told you. I'm like Mystic Meg. This guy gets penalties. He's averaging one every 12 laps, so he'll probably get another one before the end. Because he's pushing hard. Trying to battle for this second podium position. And gets himself back up to P2. All the while losing ground to Josh as it's Lee. Takes the position, gets himself up to P6 ahead of G-Banks. Oh, I can't stop yawning, guys. I'm really sorry. It's been a long week. I know technically it's Monday, but I mean like days week, like the whole week and last week. It's been long. Many hours. But I'm here with you. I'll commentate to the end. I'm a trooper. As we'll jump back on and have a look to see if Dan Richards can take the position from Anthrax Robin again. Has a look on the outside. But they've all going single file through turn 3. Oh, he chose a different corner. Way mixing it up now. Come on, my guy. See if you can do a lap without spinning once. I challenge you. I dare you. Now putting pressure back on F1 Mad. Showing his pace again through 7 and 8. I think he's going to be looking at doing the overtake on his next lot of DRS. Things that open. Close that left box. You've got Mail. Has a look on turn 1, but knows better of it. Only rookie drivers overtake on turn 1, and that looks like a Haas. The Haas of Matt Harris. As Robin does make that overtake, locks up and F1 Mad tries to go on the inside again. Ooh, I don't think he left Robin too much space on the track there. Forcing a little bit wide, and this has brought Dan Richards into play. And Anthrax Robin is under threat from both. Goes on the outside, loses a bit of traction, and has to slot him behind now. I think he'll be having words with F1 Mad there, not leaving enough space. Tries to go quite wide, but great defence there from Dan Richards, keeping the line, racing line. Robin trying to do his signature move as they follow through single file, ending lap 29. 7 laps to go. Josh has managed to break his gap now on the penalties, and as Robin looks on the inside of Dan Richards, locks up again, but managed to leave him plenty of space as G-Banks gets back up to P6. Great overtake down to turn 3 from him. Goes a little bit wide, which will hamper his exit on the corner. But Isley is not close enough for the overtake. So Robin has now made it back up to P3. Great battling here. It's great to see this last all the way to the end without any incident or mistakes. Noodles just in his own land now, whistling along. Oh, I saw why you work. Do what do. I'm in a lonely P5. Even Matt Harris, who's 8 P8, has got a car of Nemi that says 0.7 seconds behind him. He's not. That's weird. As Robin makes overtake down to turn 3. Another clean overtake, easily done. Dan Richards will try and take advantage of F1 Mag going off the racing line as well, who in turn will be trying to take the position back. Itzley and G Banks jostling for position, I think. G Banks gave the position back there. They must have had a bit of a collision there, or forced him wide. And now Lewis getting the track limits on turn 10. It's an easy place to get it. Robin here up to P2 now. Can he break free from the guys behind him? Does he have better tyres? Are the tyres wearing for the guys on mediums? Lap 32. Still can't call it for the last podium position, I think. If it stays as it is, then it will be a Ferrari 1-2 with Dan Richards jumping on the podium. That's G Banks and Itzley jostling again. G Banks back up to P6. Itzley slots back in the slipstream to retake the position down to turn 4. Has a look on the inside. Oh, knows better of it. If Dan Richards ends up getting a, should we just double check penalties while we're here? So if Dan Richards gets another penalty, then the podium will go to Noodles. As he's coming around the final corner himself. Matt Harris reserving for us today. Be happy with P8, I guess. It's Lee making the overtake down to turn 1. We haven't seen many of them today, which means G-Banks will be extra feisty coming down to turn 3. And that's a yellow flag for a Ferrari. And Robin has dropped down a couple of places and out of the podium positions. He needs to keep within 3 seconds to keep himself in contention with the podium. But was that his own doing again, or was that collision with another driver? Ooh, only time will tell. And in time, I mean Discord. And there's your second penalty for Dan Richards, which would promote, let's see if I can work this out, F1 Mag gets another penalty and that will drop him down, definitely. But I think this will currently promote, if my calculations are correct, 2, 3, 4, 9, 5, 8. Ooh, Noodles is just out, I think. Noodles needs to speed up a bit if he wants a podium. Maybe a bit battling with Anthrax Robin if he manages to catch up in a second. 2-6. 2-6-2-5. I'm trying to do my maths here while the timer keeps going up and down. That's about 4 seconds. 6 is just over the 6 second mark. He needs to break that. He needs to push with 2 laps to go, and the podium will be his. Push hard without getting penalties himself. That's another spin there from Arlinus. He needs some traction training, throttle training, as Robin is right up behind Dan Richards. And Dan Richards gets another penalty as well. And that does hand Noodles the podium if he can keep as he's going. Wow, wow, wow. These last minute penalties has cost F1 Mad and Dan Richards the podium position. Anthrax has managed to catch up with Dan Richards and want to do the overtake on track. Are these medium tyres wearing now? 16 laps, and was it the right decision to stay on hards as Robin does make the overtake going down to turn 3. Wow. We're on the penultimate lap. Josh is now 7 seconds ahead of P2. Dan Richards looks on the inside. Oh, that was close. Dan Richards doing a little bit of a lazy nosedive on turn 4. There's no point in battling too hard, mate, because you've got loads of penalties and Robin doesn't have any. You might as well just follow him round to the end now with only 1 lap to go. Don't do anything stupid. There's nothing you can do about your penalties as G-Banks gets another one. Another one! DJ Khaled! Another one! And Robin is just pushing now. 21 lap old tyres now. And we are on the final lap. Don't think we're going to see potentially any more overtakes, maybe G-Banks in a minute. Can he make a final lunge? Round to turn 3. Thinks better of it. Has a look on the outside, maybe trying to do a switchback. As he goes round, I don't think he's close enough. He is not. He takes a look on the inside, turn 4. But it's Lee has the outside line. And we'll follow Josh as he comes round the final corner. Great race from him. Very solid. Didn't really have that much to fight with and takes P1. We've had a collision with Italy and G-Banks. Just saw that coming a mile off with them battling and him pushing. As F1 Mag crosses the line for P2. He won't be staying there as Anthrax Robin gets P2. Dan Richards crosses the line, but Noodles does get himself promoted up to P3 and onto the podium. 2 podiums in a row. His teammate F1 Mad then P4. Dan Richards P5. Italy comes home in P6. G-Banks colliding with Italy. It looks like going round turn 5, which is a difficult place to do, especially if you're pushing too hard. So Italy P6, G-Banks P7. We've got Matt Harris, his Haas teammate, coming behind. The final 2 corners. And will finish P8. Give it a little wiggle, a little bit of a celebration, gets P8. And then we've got our man Holiness, who surely is the final one to cross the line. The game's not going to make us wait for Nemi, is it? He's done a good job. He's finished again. Gets points on the board for himself. Comes home in P9. And that is the runners. Great race from him. And it's the perseverance from him. And the game gives driver of the day to Dan Richards. I would have probably agreed because he took advantage of the safety car. But those last plunge of penalties cost him a podium. He could have got that, but yeah, that's what happens. Josh, another win of the season. More points for him and the Ferrari team. They're going to be shaking that Austrian beer. And this is your standings for Austria. Ferrari boys, P1, P2. Josh on the top. Noodles on the third row, the third step of the podium, and his teammate dropping down with penalties down to P4. Dan Richards as well, dropping down to P5. Got Italy in P6, G-Banks P7. What could have been for him? Although he does have a load more penalties, so again, why would you force it on that last lap? Matt Harris P8, Holiness P9. Great perseverance from him, and Nemi, the invisible car, rounding off our finishers. Crossfog retiring, having an crash out of turn 8, and FaZe Walker having a hissy fit, retiring in the pits. So there are your 12 runners. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Max Verstappen Division. Join us next week for race 8, and it will be at Silverstone. It is a bank holiday in the UK, but we will be racing next week, so join us at Silverstone. My name's Alex. I shall join you again. Peace out.